Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Jazzy Video Store Sasquatch here, and we are doing our Throwback Thursday. I have three Marvel movies to talk about. Like I said, we're kind of dip our toes into the Marvel universe very slowly. We kind of want to speed up a little bit. A couple of them, like Spider Man, because they're coming out in like late July is the new Spider Man. We want to get at least into where we're through the very first version of Spider Man, the very first couple versions of Spider Man, at least there. We definitely won't get into the Avengers movies. So we definitely won't get into Spider-Man yet, just quite yet. Before that, that's cool because like at the end of the year when it kind of comes back out on the streaming, we'll go back and talk about it as into the relevance of the Avengers and everything. So like I said, it's just gonna be a very slow process. There's a lot of movies here, honestly, because we're not just talking about the MCU from Disney. We're starting at the very beginning with Spider-Man's and the movies we were talking about today and then so forth, and then their kind of iterations too, and then their sequels too, because we still have the Spider-Man sequels and the X-Men sequels to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff to do there with Marvel, um, but we'll get it done very slowly. We'll kind of pick through it, and it does give you a lot of content, so it is like a good thing, but at the same time, it's going to get a little tedious because some of these movies in the early stages were hit and miss. But that is the point of doing this also is to kind of go back and look at what the differences, and you'll see that especially with the third movie we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the box office. I did not go see a movie. I will go see Disclosure Day probably this weekend. I typically do not go see Pixar movies um, until at least after streaming. There have been a couple exceptions through the last 2 years of doing this, but that's just kind of how I do it. Um, as well, but the main reason is just because Pixar is going to sell no matter what. It really doesn't need to be reviewed because honestly, it's a kids movie. Like any review an adult would give it really isn't the satisfaction it kind of deserves there. As well as our box office report, like I said, for this weekend, and then we were talking about the Spotlight Saturday or Spotlight Saturday is what we're gonna call it now, but we'll do a Saturday show with the five movies that we spotlight from the actors. That way we can also do it weekly because I wasn't gonna do it weekly. I just didn't want to get stuck in doing a movie every day too, or a video every day too. So that's kind of the reasoning there. So that's like the kind of little bit of switch. I mean, it's not really a little switch because I mean we already announced it. The first week here is Anthony Mackie, and it was kind of cool because not only were we able to do Anthony Mackie, but we were kind of able to stay away from his part in the Marvel Universe, which is later, way later than we are at right here. So, it works out. So that will be our Saturday show. We'll be spotlighting Anthony Mackie. I mean, he's been around for 26 years now. Yeah, 26 years, I believe. His first credit was around 8 Mile. So we'll get more of that too, like I said, for Saturday into his whole thing. We'll start here today into the Marvel Universe. Like I said, there's so many movies of Marvel Universe. Just like where we're at now, we're just starting with the very first iterations of a lot of these characters with Spider-Man and X-Men is kind of where we started. We're into the Fantastic Four now, directed by Tim Story, starring Ian Gruffield, Michael Chiklis, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba. Um, a group of astronauts gain superpowers after a cosmic radiation exposure and must use them to oppose the plans of their enemy, Dr. Victor Von Doom, who's played by Julian McMahon. Harnish Linklater's in this, and also Kerry Washington plays the love interest of Michael Chiklis. Honestly, this movie is one of the like classics. Like it came out July 8th, 2005. I think it came out after Daredevil, which we're talking about later. Obviously after X-Men, obviously after Spider-Man. I don't remember if it was before or after Punisher though. But it's like this one's just like really honestly, I think the sequel is like a year right before Iron Man. So they were just really kind of pushing on the door of the Marvel Universe with this. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of funny to see Chris Evans as the Human Torch again, even though we all know that he did make his another appearance back into the Human Torch form into the Deadpool movie with Wolverine, which we'll talk about eventually, I'm sure this year. And I mean, he's just one of those guys that's a good actor. He kind of plays a very good, cocky Human Torch character here. Johnny Storm. Um, and it kind of fits. Honestly, I think the only one that really doesn't fit here is Ian Gruffudd. I think they kind of Griffith. I think they could have gone with like the dude from The Flash and uh, Everybody Loves Ed or whatever from NBC way back in the day. The Barry something maybe, I think. I can't remember his name. It's not important, but honestly, this is a really good job here. The only thing I would say that kind of this is more like comic booky and more like pushing it towards the comic book and like family friendly, and it definitely sells the shit out of everything it can because it has product placement out the Yahoo. But they kind of had to have a product placement out the Yahoo because they're putting $100 million in this movie. They had an opening day of 56 million and a gross of 33.5 million dollars. So $100 million back 2005. I'm not gonna say it's a lot 'cause it's still a lot today, but it's really outrageously high on a movie budget at that time. So like, there's like maybe 20 movies all time before this that even were close to the scope of $100 million. So yeah, it's interesting here. They got their 3 times the money back though, and they did a sequel. So and we'll eventually talk about the sequel, and it's really well done. Kerry Washington's awesome in it. Michael Chiklis is a really good The Thing. Um, Jessica Alba. It's so hard to know like what is the director here and what's Alba, because like we always kind of hear all the stories that kind of came out where she was like told to cry pretty or cry looking cute and stuff like that. So she's getting a lot of mixed directions. So it's kind of hard to know like just how good Sue Storm could have been with her in it, because I mean, and it's really hard to know how good her career could have been if she just wasn't so attractive, and it's just unfortunate for her. But that is the first ever iteration of Fantastic Four, and it was directed by Tim Story. The second one here is the second iteration of Fantastic Four before we do the sequel, and that is directed by Josh Trank, starring Miles Teller, Kate Mora, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Bell. Four young outsiders teleport to an alternate and dangerous universe, which alters their physical form in a shocking ways. The four must learn to harness their new abilities and work together to save Earth from a former friend turned enemy. And that former friend is Toby Kebbell. Reggie Cathy's in this, and Tim Blake Nelson is also. This movie came out August 7th, 2015. I mean, if you remember anything about this movie, the one thing you probably remember is just it got hit by the studios because the director went out of its way, and then you kind of watch this movie and you watch it for original one, and you just see there's so many stark differences. Of course, it's supposed to be like a darker, grittier version of it, but like they still lost all the like the cool stuff that the Fantastic Four would even have been about. Michael B. Jordan's a Michael B. Jordan. He's a stud. Jamie Bell's honestly pretty good as a thing too, even though it's mostly voice air character. Kate Mora, Miles Teller. Like Miles Teller is just kind of just hit with a bunch of shit out this Sam too. So until really Top Gun, his career is about in jeopardy too because this movie. Josh Trank completely, I believe, went away unless he's doing like horror movies or B movies or kids movies or whatever movies they're gonna do. Had a budget of 120 million, so even 13 years or 10 years later, just 10 years later, think about it. They had put 20 more $1 million in this movie, and they got like a worse version of it. But this isn't. But it's hard to know exactly what the director had in mind and the storytellers had in mind for this movie, because everything got kind of just blown out of proportions and people got sued and shit hit the wall. Michael B. Jordan's probably career was lucky to survive this, honestly, because of how bad it tanked. And at the time of his career, where it was at, it was just coming off Rocky or no Creed. So yeah, there's a lot of bad things you can say about this movie. And honestly, when you go back and watch it, you just like I said, the two differences. One's bright and shiny. It's corporate packed. It's all selling everything. It's about merchandise and moving forward and all this and branding in the Fantastic Four. And this one's all like emotional teenage. The Thing hates that he's the Thing, of course, because he hates that he's the Thing in this, but it's not like a comedic ways of hating it. It's like an emo way of hating it. And then Kate Mora and the dude, not Johnny Storm, but Johnny Storm is Michael B. Jordan, but Miles Teller here doing the Steve Richards here. He he just disappears and kind of quits on himself. Dumb movie, dumb concept. Really surprised that even with what they got into involved with it, they actually made a movie out of it because really that ending is so rushed as well. Like Victor Von Nunes comes in and starts popping heads. So yeah, there's a lot to say about this movie, and it's really not a lot of good. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. But I wanted to do it because it was just so contrastedly different, and I wanted to kind of talk about that, especially the reception of it, the just the overall look of it, the tone of it, the feel of it, the story of it. One, they're going to space like in traditional. This one, they hit into another alternate reality that Steve Richards found in high school somehow during a magic show, or not magic show, but science fiction or science fair. So I don't know, two different things here. So, and it's all supposed to be the same story. So it really tells you like creatively what it can do. And I always said, and really 167 million is really a lot more than I thought it did. And honestly, if it would have came out today, probably wouldn't even have made like 25 million. You know what I mean? The opening would have been 2.5 million. So that's something also to think about here. And the last one we're going to talk about here is Daredevil, directed by Mark Steven Johnson, starring Ben Affleck, Jennifer Gardner, Colin Farrell, a man blinded by toxic waste, which also enhances his remaining sense fight crime as an acrobatic. His remaining senses to fight crime as an acrobatic martial arts superhero. Michael Clark Duncan plays Kingpin. It's actually a pretty good role, to be honest with you. John Favreau plays Foggy, and Joe Pantalonio pops up in this. It came out February 14th, 2003, so that tells you right there. The studio kind of knew what they had even before it kind of came out. This must have been where Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck met. It's kind of funny that Jennifer Garner's in this because she's in the next movie we're going to talk about, and she'll be in the next movie next week because she's going to be in Electra. But it had a gross of 179 million on a budget of 78, so it did pretty well, honestly, in all metrics. It just like seemed like this is the time to hate Ben Affleck. Um, Anything Ben Affleck was associated with. Honestly, this movie's not bad. I mean, not good, but it's not bad. It's definitely 2002 vibes. Just coming out of the Matrix, where we're getting the bluer tints and the cuts and the action sequences that are just going a little bit longer and a little bit more elaborate with the motioning and everything that's going on with the martial arts. Clearly, you can tell a lot of times it's not Ben Affleck doing it, uh, but he did kind of revive himself as Batman. So I'm not gonna hate on him here. I'm a big Ben Affleck guy. I'm a big Red Sox fan. He's always been a Red Sox fan, so he always got a fan with me. Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin is like an awesome choice. Honestly, like I would have never of thought to make that choice. And then I kind of saw it and I was like, yeah, that's not really Kingpin, but it's still fucking awesome. So, and the fight scene's awesome. Colin Farrell's kind of the fish out of water here, to be honest with you, is Bullseye. Favreau is kind of too because Foggy has to be a little bit closer to Ben Affleck's age. And I feel like Favreau's like, what, 10 years older than Affleck? If not, he definitely like seems like he's just 10 years older by everything that's going on. Even like if you think about his career, because he would've came out early 90, 97, yeah. I mean, at least 5 years, 6 years older. And, they're supposed to be the same age. Jennifer Gardner, she's just and she's just good in this. She's just good in everything I've actually ever seen her in. Now to really kind of go back and to think about stuff. Very good story here. And like honestly, it's cool to see against the Daredevil show against this how much difference in how 2000 this is compared to the Daredevil, but still at the same point, they really did kind of stay true to it. Like, they got to expand a little bit longer in the show about the dad, so they had to make a kind of quick kind of cuts with that. And they kind of got to expand a little bit longer with the beginning of how he got blinded and stuff like that. So they were able to show that a little bit better. But other than that, I mean, it's really good carbon copies, good action sequences in both. Yeah, if you have never seen this, I would actually recommend you to go see it in today's eyes. And then think about movies that come out today, and like think about how much is better this movie is than the movies that are coming out today. So there's something there. That is our movies for the week here. We will go into The box office, Disclosure Day, 45 million, 55 million, total overall as of today. Obsession, 19 million, $195 million total as of today. I mean, Obsession it's just not gonna go away. That movie's gonna be $20 million next weekend too, because people want to see this movie. They're obsessed by it. Scary Movie, 14 million. Not surprising with $88 million today. Backrooms, 12 million, 160 million, and I believe that worldwide it's over 300 million. It's the first ever A24 movie to ever do that. So congratulations, Backrooms. Two very good directors here with Backrooms and Obsession. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens from this weekend. Masters did not double like I thought it would. But another thing we can always talk about with Masters of the Universe is how it is an Amazon movie, and Amazon movies do not need to be successful in the box office because everything Amazon's doing is selling to getting you into Prime, and once it hits Prime, it will still be a number one movie, and that's all that Amazon really needs. I don't know how they equate. I'd love to learn that. If anyone knows, send it to me. How they equate their views to money to make some of these projects worth it, but I would not fear Masters. It's a good movie, and it's gonna be even better when people kind of get to watch it at home. That's where I think Scary Movie, you're gonna need to see it in the theaters to kind of get it. And if you don't see it in the theaters, you're gonna kind of miss a lot of the stuff when you're sitting at home. So those are those two movies. Like I said, I will be going to see Disclosure Day this weekend, not Toy Story or anything. I have the plan, and we are doing our Anthony Mackie Spotlight Saturday. Um, I right now I'm 3 movies in. I don't really wanna go 'cause I haven't decided on the 5th one yet, but alright, we'll do the 4 I know we're gonna do. Triple Nine, we did already I already watched, All the Way. Kinda disappointed I watched that because I think we could have picked a better movie to spotlight him better in, but choice already been made and watched. And, the other one that has already been watched is, The Night Before, which is actually a comedy with Seth Rogen and Jordan or Jordan Levitt or whatever his name is. I'll remember it when I have it in front of me. And, Seth Rogen and a couple other people that are pretty funny. It's a good movie. Hurt Locker he was in, and we're gonna watch that. I believe the last one we're gonna watch is Detroit, unless I watch it and he is not as big of a character as I think he is in it. Hold on, yeah, I have it here. Detroit. I don't know. It'll be Detroit or something Ghost. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna keep you guys going while I'm looking this up. But we're four for sure. The first four for sure. Hurt Locker, Triple Nine, All the Way, and The Night Before. So look forward to that on Saturday. Thank you guys very much for watching, and please have a good rest of your day or night. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section, and see you next time in the cave.